Vegas. My name's Tyler. I'll be hanging out with you guys through the bouldering competition. If you have any questions or concerns about the live stream, shoot me a tweet to my account @PlasticWeekly. I also posted up a picture of problem men's #1, which unfortunately isn't visible on the live stream due to some last-minute route setting changes. But on men's #1, we're featuring, for the most part, some big slopey volumes. And I'll do my best to describe what's going on off screen. But for now, Mariana on your screen on women's #1. Climbing through a bunch of blocks features.
They're not nervous at all. You know what helps that? A little bit of noise. Let's practice. See, they feel better already. Venga, venga. Vamos, Mexico.
Mariana trying to maybe skip a couple holds and get into the hold past bonus. It is a big positive thing, but it's facing as an undercling, so to stick that, you'll probably have to really commit to the small feet on the start volume. I don't see that going.
We start slow, 1 climber, 2 climbers, and 3 and 4.
Benjamin Vargas hasn't made it past the start position just yet. You're hugging a big vertical-oriented pinch with 2 feet on a very high volume, so you really got to haul yourself up. At which point you do a drive-by towards the left with your right hand to a flat, sloping ledge above you. If you can control that thing, you reach out to the left to an undercling bonus, where you met with a really nice big foot, and then a crimp, and then up to the finish sloper. We'll see how long it takes until we get some tops. In semifinals, the climbers are coming out in the reverse qualified order, so these very first athletes were the lowest scoring of the qualified athletes. So we cut down the qualifying field to these top 12, but the theoretically strongest climbers of this round will come out last, with the lowest scoring athletes from yesterday showing up now in the very first part of the comp. Ben looking pretty steady on the start, but having trouble controlling the hold to let him make the drive-by move. And Mariana really trying to find a way around going to the left, it looks like. Which in all fairness could be possible given you've got lots of holds attached to that starting volume. We'll see what happens in the coming climbers. We got 1 minute and 22 seconds left on the clock. Benjamin still no progress beyond the starting area. That's 1 minute left. Ben really having trouble generating friction on the start. It looks like Mariana, towards the end of her time, is trying to go out left towards the bonus.
That's going to do it. First out of the gate, top spot. Next up from the US of A, Talbot. And from Canada, Jake Elliott.
We got some new athletes out now. From the United States on women's number 1 is Julia Talbot, and from Canada on men's 1, Jacob Elliott. Julia again tempted into skipping those first 2 volumes, which I'm curious how the route setters feel when the first couple competitors are really trying to break the beta.
Give it a couple of test swings.
And Jake's still taking a look at men's number 1, trying to figure out how he wants to climb it. 3 minutes, 56 seconds left. Oh, and Julia nearly sticking the brake beta.
I didn't like that. Yes, like
This is getting exciting.
like a little extra movement. That's right. Now you know you can stick it too.
Jake on a second attempt manages to slap the hold on the drive-by, but not quite controlled. Definitely a move made harder by the fact that you're stepping on a really sheer volume, and you are on a 5-degree overhanging wall, so very little purchase in the hands, and not much to support you in the feet. Leaves you very insecure.
Yes.
And Julia Talbot sticks the move going right up. And for those that understand the tops and bonuses scoring system, tops matter more than bonuses, but if you manage to score the top on any attempt, you automatically are given the bonus. That very rarely comes up. Normally you score the bonus by touching it on your way climbing up to the top. But if you for some reason use beta that goes around the bonus hold, the bonus is awarded when you hit the top hold. Now in this case she didn't reach bonus, or she didn't reach top either. So while she did achieve a hold that looks like it's sequentially supposed to come after the bonus, she won't be earning the bonus just yet. Jake on another attempt, getting closer to sticking both hands on the drive-by flat ledge. But it's not a sloper with a lot of purchase. And you do have some leftward momentum unless you can figure out some way to hook onto those start volumes. And again, if you can't see M1 on your stream, that's how the setup is. I've taken a picture of it. You can check it on my Twitter at Plastic Weekly. Jake manages to stick the drive-by and reaches out and secures the bonus for the first time. He's now in a nice secure spot where he's in a deep undercling and standing on a fairly large volume. Reaches straight up with his left hand to hold a crimp that he seems to be backing off of. Tries it with his left, tries again with his right. Trying to sort out how he's going to use those holds to get to the top, which is a sloper that looks like you can only use the left half of it. Jake gets his right foot up way high, loses his right foot and his left, and he comes off. Julia Talbot on women's 1, trying to squeeze between the volumes of the wall. Women's 1 looking exciting now. We're probably going to see a lot of different beta on this, which is a lot of fun from a viewer perspective. All these climbers can try their different styles.
Not just how small of a hold you can squeeze.
42 seconds left on the clock.
How tall can you be?
Julia going back up for the
All right, Julia.
straight up beta.
All right, Jake, this is it.
Jake Elliott sees 25 seconds left, and he's going to take one more attempt. He's already secured the bonus, so if he's getting on, he's going for the top. Doesn't manage to stick the drive by this time. Looks at the clock with 15 seconds, decides to call it. Good effort from Julia and Jake. Your next climber's coming out for the women from Canada, Zoe Boscheman. And from Canada as well, on the men's problems, Rahul Sapra.
All right, from Canada, men's number 1, Rahul Sapra. And Zoe Moshame on number 1. That gives us Ben and Mariana on Boulder is number 2. Now we got 2 climbers going. It's got 50% more exciting.
We see the return of Mariana
100% more exciting.
and Ben on women's and men's number 2.
Testing everybody out.
Men's number 2 and a part of the wall that has seen a lot of corner work. So in general, you're going to start tight into that corner and have to maneuver your way out, pressing in between the 2 walls. And then coming out around the corner. In this case, it looks like you end up having to get into a bit of a sideways mantle. The big volume there has bonus, which is a tiny little screw on, which looks like you're only going to use it as a thumb hold as you have your fingers over the top of the volume. Maybe with your left foot kind of around the corner onto those little geometric crimps, getting into a standing position, mantling up, and maybe having to go a little dynamic up to the finish. And Raul Sapra at the corner of my eye with 3 minutes and 37 seconds left secures the top, probably on his first attempt on men's number 1. Great start for him. And Zoe Boschman looking comfortable with the bonus secured on women's number 1. Looks like she's taking it easy. Mariana making a big move up to the bonus, which looks like it might be a fairly generous hold, but you are going to it blind, so hitting it accurately can be tough. Zoe Boschman at the highest point we've seen so far, if she can stand up comfortably on this, then she could lock down the first top on women's number 1.
Yeah, Zoe.
It's looking good. She'll have to rock over, maybe get her right foot onto the right volume there to help push her over. Trying to get the flexibility to make it happen. Really got to pull that knee up into your elbow. Lowering her center of gravity, but just knocks her off. Well, she got close. We got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Plenty of time to get back up there.
All right, Ben. Venga, Ben.
Ben of Chile on men's number 2. Trying to see if he can securely come around the corner, but those are small crimps. Matching would definitely be difficult. Mariana really hoping to stick this bonus. It'd be excellent progress on this problem. Benjamin with a really dynamic attempt on men's number 2.
Bloc is ever present.
It looks like Zoe maybe. No, it's looking like she's doing the same as before. Nice big mantle. 1 minute, 7 seconds left on the clock.
All right, so
that's the 1 minute warning. Mariana trying something new, getting a bit of a press into the volume first. And Zoe Boschman matching her high point before. Seeing how she's going to approach this very barren finish hold. Doesn't make it happen. With only 33 seconds left, she's probably going to call it quits. Ben probably taking a final attempt as well. And not quite.
All right, Mariana. Come on, last shot. Let's go. Venga. Good effort. All right, from Canada, we got Kyle Murdoch and we got Justin
New climbers on the wall on men's number 1. You got Kyle Murdoch. Women's number 1, Justine McCarney, also from Canada. As we mentioned before, they're coming out in reverse qualifying order, so the later they come out, the better they did yesterday in qualifiers. So theoretically, we should see better results from the later climbers today. We're already getting to see some tops, so keeping it exciting. Justine sticks the launch upwards. And Julia Talbot trying to pat her way over to the bonus on women's 2. Getting pretty close. Just too much of a swing. Maybe if she had kicked into the volume for the foot, she could have saved it, but a lesson learned for her next attempt. Kyle Murdoch has secured bonus on men's number 1. It's looking solid. Based on his composure, it looks like he's probably ready to top this thing. One hand on the finish. Just needs the match. Patting around for a good spot. Hasn't quite found it yet. Really trying to rock his weight over his right foot. Looking a little bit desperate. Not sure where he's supposed to grab. And pops off after getting one hand on the finish. 2 minutes, 42 seconds left. Jake Elliott making progress at the bottom of men's 2.
Let's try a little experiment. Pick a climber that you like. When they pull on, start cheering.
Justine gets back on and hits the undercling. Julia Talbot going for a more dynamic approach to the bonus, but not quite working. The way we saw Mariana of Mexico doing it looked promising. She kept getting her hand on it. Maybe if we just see a little bit of coordination with getting an accurate left hand on the bonus hold, and maybe a kick to the foot volume on the left. Should go down. Justine just beyond an arm away from the top hold. See if she can find a secure footing to rock up and secure it. Looking good from Justine. If she can maybe get the right foot up to hand-foot match that volume and push her over into the hold. But right now it's just beyond her reach, and if she's tempted to go dynamic, you run the risk of losing it. She's getting her fingers in somewhere. And it looks like we're seeing our first top on women's number 1 from Justine McCarney. Great work from Jay. Just trying to figure out how to dismount off of a women's number 1. 45 seconds left. Julia Talbot sticks the dynamic bonus on women's 2. 40 seconds left. Kyle Murdoch has got one hand on the finish again. See if he can find the good spot for the match. Still patting around, maybe a little desperate. Julia taking a second to rest, trying to consider how she's going to approach this giant undercling volume. Kyle scores the top on men's number 1. But Julia really not sure how she's going to approach this. Very little place to put your feet, and there's no way to pull down on that top on women's number 2. You have to come into it as an undercling. 10 seconds left on the clock. It's going for a left foot over the volume. Pops off, no time to get back on. Great work from Julia. Your next climbers on the wall for the women from Argentina will be Rocio Becerra. And from the United States on men's 1, Brett Walker.
That might be the Argentina, alongside Brett Walker. Rahul on 2. Zoe staring down number 2. Mariana gave us the first look at number 3.
We got to give a tremendous thanks not just to Horizon Rock, the gym that's hosting this event, but also to the Pan American Council of the IFSC for all the logistical work putting this together, and also to the Accès Escalade Montreal, who played a huge part in securing the funding and, of course, managing the entire event. So huge thanks to them for making this happen. The last time the Pan American Council managed to put together an event was in 2014 in Mexico City. So you can see how difficult it is to secure all of the funding and help needed to make one of these events happen. We're really glad we got to make it happen this year as a qualifier for the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires 2018. So thanks so much to the Pan American Council, Accès Escalade Montreal, and of course Horizon Rock, who are acting as our hosts here this week. Brett Walker on the second last hold of men's number 1. Looking good. It all comes down to if he can find a good spot on the finish, and it looks like he has. He gets a nice top with 3 minutes and 23 seconds left. And Rocio on women's number 1. Just trying to find a place she's comfortable stepping on the start volume. Just trying to get a look at men's and women's number 3. Our friends Mariana and Ben. The starting volumes for Mariana are pretty positive, the 2 hands at least. And the way they're opposed sets up some interesting possibilities for heel hooks or toe hooks in the later stages of the problem. Just got to figure out how she wants to set up for this, as the foothold's not particularly secure. You really got to figure out how you're managing your body weight. Raul Sapra making it look not too bad, coming around the corner of men's number 2. Doing it secure, and now you just got to deal with that gross volume with just a couple thumbs. Chooses to go for the meat wrap idea. Now we're going to see if he can get his feet up there. He can get at least one. And now he's just got to pull the mantle, rocking over that left foot, pulling into the steep slab. Can't quite make it stick. 1 minute, 43 seconds left on the clock. Ben trying to manage opposition on men's number 3 between a sloper and the left-hand volume, which looks a lot like how the route setters were forerunning that section. That's about if he can bring his feet up enough to get into that press on the middle volume. Rocio still trying to work it out on women's number 1. And Zoe going for some big kicks on women's number 2.
Wrestling with it.
1 minute left.
1 minute.
So we're trying to guest on into the volume, which doesn't look like it'll probably work.
Come on, dig some into this.
Raul Sapper pulling back up to try and get another attempt. He's trying to crimp in his right hand, something that is definitely meant to be a foothold. Very little purchase on that. Opts to back off it. Probably a wise choice. Benjamin looking good on men's 3, but maybe a little too gassed to get out to that bonus in a controlled way. 23 seconds left on the clock. Raul and Rocio going to shut it down. Mariana might be eyeing another attempt, and Ben's back on for sure. 14 seconds left. Seeing if he can get that bonus that he just missed in his last attempt. 8 seconds left. 2, 1. And that'll be a missed opportunity for Ben, but excellent effort. Still got a problem left. Our new climbers out from Canada on the women's problem is Mika Hosoy, and from Ecuador, Carlos Grania on men's number 1.
From Canada, Carlos Grania from Ecuador. Kyle on 2. Jake on 3. Justine down here on 2. Julia going to give us a crack at number 3.
Julia Talbot and Jake Elliott on the third problems. Justine McCarney and Kyle Murdoch on the second. Carlos on men's 1. Sticks the drive-by move nicely, going direct to it rather than with the reach across.
Come on, Carlos.
Taking a second to rest on the bonus. Gets the crimp above. Got to get the high foot before going to the finish, but he's getting close. But pops off, not secure enough feet on the volume. 3 minutes, 26 seconds left.
Hey, what if we tried to do the wave or something to wake people up? People remember the wave, right? No? The wave? People know the wave. What if we started this way where we just did a nice gentle wave and then all the way back?
It's good to see a bunch of athletes volunteering as brushers. In fact, we got some brushers that'll be going on to finals tomorrow. Guy McNamee of Canada is one of the brushers on women's number 3, I think. Oh, Pete Woods got the crowd doing the wave.
Thanks, guys.
Carlos on men's 1, very dynamic attempt at getting the high foot, but he's got one hand on the top and he gets the match. Great top for Carlos Grania on men's number 1. Justine McCarney trying to get a foot before she goes for the bonus on women's number 2, which we haven't seen before. Doesn't look like she's willing to commit to squeezing on that bonus hold.
Come on, Jake. Come on, get in
Jake
there.
Elliott getting into the tight, very coordinated part of this volume, not in terms of speed, but in terms of really managing all 4 points and a lot of opposing compression. Very few surfaces you can actually step down on. For the most part, your legs are pushing outwards. Mika trying to make something happen on women's 1 with 1 minute and 49 seconds left. Not quite sure how she wants to approach it. Julia Talbot having trouble sussing out women's number 3. Mariana before her had the same troubles. Kyle Murdoch gets around the corner. Now he's just got to figure out how he wants to approach the push up into the high step over the foot. Doesn't quite stick it. Miko Soy finally seeing some success with the big undercling volume. And with 1 minute and 4 seconds left, she's got time to take a stab at the top. Jake Elliott also getting up there, but trying to find a way to generate the momentum to hit the bonus and loses the foot. 53 seconds left. Mika Hosoi on women's 1. Looking like the top is possible if she can find a good spot for this foot and manage to stand herself up.
Let's go, Kyle.
See if she can be convinced of her own balance to get up there. Justine throwing more and more and getting closer and closer on women's 2.
Yes, Mika.
With 26 seconds. Looks like she's going to take another attempt. Mika misses the top, and that'll be her last attempt.
Jake squeezing.
Kyle's got bonus on 2, but probably won't have time to get the top unless he really speeds it up and climbs with confidence, but gets popped off. That'll be the end of that round for these climbers.
That means they're trying.
Our next climbers out from the United States on the women's problem will be Lily Canavan. And from Canada on the men's problem, Tosh Shurkat.
Tosh Shurkat over here. We got Lily Canavan over here. Brett on 2. Raul's on 3. Benjamin down there.
Also getting our first chance to look at men's and women's number 4.
Ruscio's on 2. Zoe Boschman on 3 and Mariana Alonso.
On men's number 4, the starting foot volume does have a little jib on it. It's real hard to see, but there is something to push down onto. On women's number 4, you are looking at 4 completely blank volumes until you get to the bonus volume, which has a screw on for your thumb. But otherwise, you are just squeezing textured wood and nothing else. Carlos looking excellent in his first attempt on men's 4. Bonus on first attempt is a great achievement. Coming out of here certainly looks like one of the hard parts. Rocio getting spit off women's number 2. Tosh and Lily on the first problem, still trying to kind of get sorted. Tosh having trouble getting the mount off the top with a really dainty quick tap on his 4th point, but it works. Just having trouble sticking the drive-by. Brett Walker getting bonus on men's 2. And Raul Sapra getting close, but not this time on men's 3. Zoe Boschman at least getting out of the start position, which is an achievement so far. Looks like she's basically got the high point. And she's really going to have to use all those volumes below her as feet over the next couple moves, because the slopers above her are very thin and with not much to crimp into. Doing a great job of using her heels and toes on those volumes. It touches but doesn't control bonus. Mariana getting on for her 2nd attempt on women's number 4. And Lily Canavan getting close to sticking the push up on 1, but not yet. Tosh Shurkat again taking an attempt, going for a more static attempt. And manages to stick the drive-by. He's about to secure bonus. And now he gets to relax a little bit before going for the top. Raul Sapra getting a little more bent over than a lot of climbers have tried so far. He may be relying a little too much on the left-handed volume, and there's really no screw-ons or anything to grip on that. And Tosh Shurkat secures the top on men's at number 1. Lily Canavan getting to the testing part of women's number 1, but not quite getting her weight over that foot. 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. And if you're just watching, keep in mind that these climbers have never seen these problems before they come out to climb them. They get walked out of an isolation zone, they get planted in front of these problems, which they have never seen before, and they have 5 minutes to not just figure it out, but to actively climb it, which is a lot to ask. I want you guys to consider how you guys climb your project climbs, the hardest climbs you do. Can you go from looking at it to finishing it in 5 minutes? It's not an easy thing to get done. Add on all the comp pressure, the fact that this is an international competition, and it is one of the biggest challenges in climbing. 24 seconds left. We're looking at final attempts from these climbers. Brett Walker really giving it a go, trying to make something happen. Mariana looks like she's called it. Her round is over, and Ben, with his final attempt, at least has the bonus, but won't be getting the top. Your new climbers out from the United States on women's number 1 is Audrey Miller, and from the U.S. on men's number 1 is Timothy Kang.
Audrey Miller is back. And Timothy Kang, the most supported qualifier yesterday, judging by mean things said by his friends. Tim Kang. Carlos on number 2, Kyle Murdoch on 3. Jake down here.
Jake Elliott getting the bonus on men's number 4 already.
Jake, Julia, Justine, all the J's over here.
Asking for it to get brushed, which, since it's only been climbed by one other person so far, might be a scary prospect. If it's feeling that bad already, it might be a bad sign for future tops. Tim's got bonus on men's number 1. Looking pretty collected, so. Oh, but unfortunately, he falls off the crimp after the bonus. Julia Talbot almost getting the bonus on women's number 4. She manages to touch the volume, but not the hold that is bonus itself. Jake matching his high point.
Come on, Jake.
See if he can keep controlled and get the match.
Nice, Tim.
Come on, Audrey, you got this, bro. Come on.
Nice, Tim.
And Tim Kang looking better this time. He's got one hand on the top. Gets the second, and he's earned a finish on men's number 1.
So bad? Not so bad at all.
I want to give a big thanks to our major partners for this event, the government of Quebec, as well as the City of Montreal and Tourism Montreal, as well as PME Montreal. They all provide a lot of financial support and, of course, promotional support as well. Hope you guys will come visit Montreal sometime. If you haven't been, it's a beautiful city. Check out the Tourism Montreal website for some ideas, but I think you should stop by here at Horizon Rock to get on these brand new walls. Horizon does include now Canada's first ever speed wall on our eastern side of the country. And just around the corner is the Olympic Park, the Olympic Stadium. Lots to see in the neighborhood. So make a trip down onto Montreal and visit us. Also thanks to our official partners, Entreprise, Perfect Descent Climbing System, Hotel Gouverneur Montreal, Auberge Royal Versailles, and the Travel Lodge Centreville.
Come on, Carlos.
Maybe those are some good places to stay when you come to visit
A
us.
little bit stronger.
With 1 minute and 30 seconds left, we're seeing a lot of work being done, but in this round of climbers, only a top from Tim Kang on number 1. Audrey Miller looking like she's getting close to the top on women's number 1, which would be nice to see. Carlos on number 2.
Yes, Carlos.
Trying to sort himself out here to get the high foot.
Ready to go, Carlos.
That's 1 minute left.
1 minute. All the way down the wall. Jake and Julia, full effort. Last boulder. No need to rest.
Mika doing a lot of tossing, trying to get the bonus on the women's 2. And Kyle consistently making it up close to the bonus, but not quite getting there.
Carlos, one more good shot. Venga, Carlos. Oh, yes, guy. No, guy.
30 seconds left. Carlos is going to call it.
Come on, Mika. Justine. 30 seconds. Jake.
Julia Talbot and Jake Elliott on their final attempts of this round. Not quite making it happen with 18 seconds. They might just try it. Julia Talbot at least hasn't achieved bonus, so if she can at least get that, that'll be a big improvement to her score. 7 seconds left. Jake realistically needs a top to affect anything. Probably not going to happen, but great effort from him.
Good job, Jake.
The new climbers on the wall from the United States on women's number 1 is Bimini Horseman. And for the men on problems number 1 is Kai Leitner.
There we go, Bimini Horseman coming out on number 1. Come on, Bill. Kai Leitner.
Tosh Shurkat and Lily Canavan on problem number 2.
Tosh on number 2. Baby boy Brent on number 3. Raul over here
Rocio
on number 4.
and Brett Walker on number 3. And then for the final problem of the day, we've got Rahul and Zoe on number 4. Kai Leitner making quick work of the first part of men's number 1. Doing some big old extensions that not many people here can do. It's one tall dude. Rahul Sapra achieving bonus on 4. Let's see if he can be the first to get beyond that. Looking good, but the toe pops. And Kai secures top on men's number 1. He'll get 3 minutes and 52 seconds of rest before his 5-minute rest period.
Let's go, Tosh.
Tosh Shurkat trying out some beta on 2. And Bimini getting higher on 1. Got to get herself into the mantle, get the high foot.
Be strong.
On women's 2, I feel like I might have misjudged this bonus hold. I thought it was looking pretty positive, but either because I read it wrong or just because there's so much momentum pulling you out as you hit it, it's become very difficult to hold. We've only really seen one climber. I believe it was Julia Talbot showing any kind of security on that hold. And Tosh Shurkat trying to lock down 2 fingers on the top, and they give it to him. Excellent top from Tosh on men's number 2. And that is the first top on men's number 2. Meanwhile, right beside him to the left, Bimini Horseman might just be securing the top on women's number 1. Excellent job from Bimini. And Lily Canavan has ended up securing that bonus. And we'll see if she can succeed where Julia Talbot didn't quite manage. Trying to figure out how to push yourself up into the undercling finish. That is the top on women's 2. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. It won't be for Lily on that attempt. 1 minute 43 seconds left. Rocio trying some really interesting start beta on women's number 3. Not sure if she'll be able to get off the ground with that, but she makes it go. There it is. Curious how she's going to unwind from this, but if it works, can't knock it. Brett getting close up to bonus on men's number 3, but right around here you're under so much tension. I think you're just feeling like you want to just launch out to the bonus, which doesn't look very secure as the bonus sloper is pretty trash. But maybe handling those volumes is worse.
All the effort.
1 minute left.
All right, come on, Rocio, vamos, vamos. Come on now. Venga, venga. Woo. Rahul, Zoe, this is it. Right down here.
MCP Woods trying to get some psych for Rahul and Zoe on their final problems. Rahul's already got the bonus, so we're just trying to see if he can get beyond there, but the hold is terrible. And it seems like it's tough to get your weight up around that corner without sliding off the foothold. 26 seconds left to Lily Canavan, giving her final attempt to get up to this top. Maybe taking a second to reconsider.
Right down to the buzzer. That's full effort. Nice job.
And your new climbers on the wall from the United States on women's number 1 is Margot Hayes. And from the USA on men's number 1 is Skylar Smith.
Joined us out on problem 1.
On number 2, you can now see Timothy Kang and Audrey Miller. On problem 3, Mika Hosoi and Carlos Grania. And on problem number 4 for their final climbs of the day, Kyle Murdoch and Justine McCarney. Skylar Smith on men's number 1 off to a flying start. It's already got bonus. 4 minutes, 23 seconds left. Getting the high foot, maybe on kind of a perilous part of that volume, but he gets the one hand on the finish and looks like he's about to match it up. Decides to chalk up first instead. Might not be helping him find as much friction as he was hoping for. Chalks up again. Margot Hayes making quick work of the launch up to the undercling volume on women's 1. While Skylar is still feeling up the finish of men's number 1. He's been up there for about, well, 35 seconds now. And can't make it happen. Comes off. He's going to have to rest for a minute and try it again. Margot getting close to the finish on women's 1. And looking pretty secure. Locking down a top on women's 1. Nice job, Margot. I want to give big thanks to our organizational partners, the sport climbing organizations that provide so much logistical support for this event. Of course, the IFSC, as well as Climbing Escalade Canada, and our host organization, the FQME, that's the Fédération Québécoise de la Montagne et de l'Escalade. Also thanks to our friends at Sport Climbing British Columbia and USA Climbing for their support as well.
All right, Justine. Squeeze a little harder. Try a little harder. Venga, Carlos. All right, Mika, come on now.
Skylar back up on men's number 1 for his second attempt. Back at the bonus, looking easy. He's coming up to confront the area that caused him so much trouble. 2 minutes, 16 seconds left. He's got one hand on the finish, but it's all about getting the second hand on, which he had trouble with last time. And he goes for it desperate, gets 2 hands, but not enough to call it a finish. So with 1 minute and 54 seconds left, he's going to have to get up there again. Tim Kang looks like his hand just wasn't oriented the way he wanted it to on that crimp on men's number 2. But he's got 1 minute 42 left. Audrey Miller getting awfully close to holding this bonus on 2 going dynamic, but not quite yet.
Nice, Audrey. There you go, Tim. Yes.
Tim Kang trying to find some stability on that big diamond volume. He's going to try and get his left foot up into those crimps, and from there, he's going to have to reach across his left leg to help pull him up. I don't think that crimp on the diamond volume will be enough to help him get up there.
All right, Kyle. Come on, Kyle, dig deep. Justine, Carlos. Venga, venga, Carlos. Venga, venga. You're trying real hard down here.
24 seconds left on the clock. And if you guys are looking for scores, you want to follow along. Of course, I can't tell you everything that happens because we got 8 climbers on the wall at a time. Make sure you go to the website ifsc-climbing.org. You can find a link to that on the official event website of this competition if you go to climbingpanam2017.com. Your new athletes out: for the women, Maya Madere of the USA, and for the men, Bobby Taft Pittman from the United States.
Bobby Taft and Maya Madere. Puts Kyle Kai on 2, Tosh on 3, Brett Walker down there on number 4.
Brett and Rocio on their final problems of the day on men's and women's number 4.
Lily on 3, and Rocio is going to finish up down on number 4. Solid Maya.
Bobby looking solid, getting to the second last hold of men's number 1. 3 minutes 57 on the clock. It takes a toss with one hand on the finish. He's going to have to get back up there.
All right, Kai. Come on, Lily. Lily Canavan. Brett Walker making moves.
Brett Walker on men's 4. It's his turn how to figure out how to get out of this bonus now.
Oh, almost.
So far, we've only seen tops on men's number 1 and women's number 1. I've seen a couple tops on men's number 2. But aside from that, the third and fourth problems, as well as women's 2, currently have seen no finishes on them. And we're getting into our strongest athletes now with only one left to come out for each gender. And Bobby again on men's number 1 has one hand on the finish, gets the second, and Bobby's going to walk away with the top.
Do you have a wallet in your pocket? Yeah, you do. That's awesome. Come on, Maya. Look at this. Come on, Maya. Come on, Maya. Come on, believe. Look at that. That's style right there. That is some style right there. Come on, Kai.
Maya manages the top on women's number 1. If you know some of these climbers, or you know some of the coaches, or you know anybody, or you're just interested in this and you want to share with people, make sure you share it around on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Use the hashtag ClimbingPanAm. Or even better, use the hashtag Access Escalade Montreal. That'll show your support for the organization that's put this thing on. And of course, you can find Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, Instagram accounts for Access Escalade Montreal, as well as Facebook pages for this event, the Climbing Pan Ams. Give those a like and a follow. The more engagement we get from viewers like you, the easier it is to secure funding and support from sponsors in the future, which helps make these events easier for everybody involved. Bimini Horseman on women's number 2, trying to figure out her own beta to get up to the top of this thing, which we've seen no success on yet. Kai Leitner might just get the second top on men's 2. Nice work from Kai. Tosh Shurkat trying to sort out getting to bonus on men's number 3, but I don't think we've seen anybody get to bonus on M3 just yet. You spend so much time pushing out on all of these volumes with your hands and your feet, it can become so tempting to just go dynamic to that bonus. But you really just got to work a little bit more to get the optimal positioning before you can reach for it. And Tosh running out of gas, popping off. Just not enough. Bimini's starting to make this dyno to bonus look easy. But this finish is just so blank. So unintuitive. Is it about matching the volume, getting your left foot up onto the bonus hold? We don't know yet. 10 seconds now left on the clock. And we'll see everybody pack it in. And we're down to the final new athletes of this round, of the junior round. From the United States on women's number 1, you'll see Claire Burfine. She was the top qualifier from yesterday. And on men's number 1 from Canada, top qualifier Lucas Yoshida.
Our top qualifiers from the junior category are out.
Take an opportunity to give some thanks to the proud partners for this event. Thanks to Bloc's Climbing Equipment, Kumiki Climbing, PCM Premium Volumes, and Dimension Volumes for all the holds and volumes that you're seeing up here on the wall, and many more that will come out tomorrow for finals. Also to Action Sport Physio, who are providing the medical services and equipment. And the 5006 for their help with the infrastructure. We got Carlos on men's number 4 for his final problem, along with Miko Hosoi. Carlos again getting stymied by that greasy bonus. Nobody gone past that just yet. Margot Hayes might be the first one to break women's 2, but not on this attempt. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. Lucas Uchida trying to figure out the start on men's number 1. Getting tossed around on his first attempt. Claire Burfind, one of the tallest female competitors. If she can manage to step up with this foot, she probably won't need to do much else to reach the finish. In fact, she might reach it before she even gets her legs straightened out. Margot with a great dyno to bonus. Let's see if she can manipulate this hold to get herself pressed up into that undercling. It is an undercling sloper, so you really got to have some upward push coming from your feet before you can control that. And let's see if Margot can make it happen. She's got the Gaston in the left hand. She's got to create opposition in the left foot and the right hand to get matched on that thing. Just got to find the body position to get her right hand up to secure herself from falling out. Is it going to happen? Can't hold this position for too long. Trying to find purchase, but it doesn't last. Meanwhile, Lucas Uchida has one hand on the top of men's number 1, trying to find a steady position to bring up the match. Hasn't found it quite yet, but there it is. And that's a top for Lucas Uchida on men's number 1.
All right, everybody back up. Tim's back up. Oh. Come on, Skylar. That was fun.
One minute, 34 seconds left.
Down on the end, still working.
Claire Burfine going into a press on the wall. Some excellent beta we haven't seen since the first attempts. Great job from Claire.
All right, Margot.
Margot Hayes with 1 minute, 14 seconds left, hoping to match the high point she had before, but hopefully this time get 2 hands on the top for the first top we've seen. She's got 1 minute and 4 seconds left to prove it.
All right, Margot. Come on, Margot. 1 minute. Carlos.
Doesn't have the gas that attempt. She's down to 55 seconds to squeeze in a rest and another successful attempt.
Carlos.
Carlos and Mika are still trying to sort out their final problems. Probably some of the hardest problems today.
What do you think, Margot? Yes.
37 seconds on the clock.
Tim, you gotta get up, you gotta hustle. Carlos, uno más, Carlos. No reason to rest. Come on, get some. Get some.
And Margot just not able to stick the foot. She's gonna have to walk away from that top that was so close. Margot going again with only 15 seconds left. Hopefully she doesn't regret using that energy when she comes around to women's 3, which also hasn't seen a top yet. 6 seconds to get the foot and get the Gaston, but she's going to back off a little early. Maybe not worth it. And we're done with new climbers. We're going to have a very short break before the A climbers start to come out. Of course, the A category, extra important because they're the ones competing for a spot at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires.
3-point gap before bringing the Youth A's out. So we got Bobby, we got Kai, we got Tosh. We got Maya.
On number 2, we've got Bobby Taft Pittman
Oh, look at that.
and Maya Madere. On 3, we've got Kai Leitner and Bimini Horseman. And on problem number 4, we've got Tosh Sherkat and Lily Canavan. And I'm excited to see Kai on men's number 3. Hasn't been topped just yet.
Oh, Bobby. Yes, Tosh.
Tosh making noise on 4.
Yes, Tosh. Ollie. Ollie, Tosh.
Managing to get a good lock off of the bonus for Tosh, but not enough to actually touch the next hold. And after that, there's still a couple more to go. Maybe as a consolation, the finish hold looks like a fairly secure rail. Three minutes, 27 seconds.
Nice, Bobby. That's all right. Lily down on the end. Come on, Lil. Come on. You go, Bobby.
Bobby's got his foot up, but he couldn't quite get all the weight over to start standing up, so he'll have to start men's 2 again.
Come on, gotta get some.
Maya Madere managing to get the foot up on the bonus.
Yes, Maya.
She's got the left-hand Gaston, but of course this is where we've seen Margot Hayes fail. We'll see if Maya can succeed where she didn't. Manages to get both hands touching, but not enough to get the secure moves. We're just seeing Kai Leitner on men's number 3, getting bonus for the first time today. Setting new high points on this problem. Second last hold. Let's see if he can secure the top here. It's a bad hold, so the body's got to be doing the work. Not enough for this time, but 2 minutes, 23 seconds left for him to shut that thing down.
Come on, Bob. All right, Bimini. Come on, Bim.
And Bimini Horseman doing some good work on women's 3, but not enough just yet. Bobby Pittman on number 2. Hopefully going to be a little more gentle this time and maybe negotiate himself into a standing position. We're still waiting to see tops on women's number 2, as well as men's 3, women's 3, and both of the 4 problems. Although women's 2 and men's 3 have seen now hands on the top, just not quite enough control to declare it finished.
Here you go, Maya. We got you. Bobby, you just got to get it. You just got to get it. All right, Maya. All right, Maya. Come on, people. Everybody, everybody, everybody. Come on, Maya. Venga, no. Got a minute still. Just got a minute.
Women's 2 starting to look like the kind of problem where you only get 1 or 2 good attempts with the amount of strenuous work you got to put into Gaston undercling that top.
Come on, Tosh. Tosh.
See if Tosh can feel secure on this bonus to get his feet up. He won't be able to launch from that foot position. 40 seconds left. And just not enough to mantle up.
Good, look at that clock. Good effort, full effort down here on the end. 30 seconds to go. Kai's going to give us one more shot.
Bimini Horseman, 26 seconds left. Has the bonus, but won't be finishing that problem. Tosh hopping on for one last attempt. And Kai, even though he got the top in one hand on men's 3, it looks like we won't be seeing the second hand.
10 seconds, that's going to do it. Just like that.
It'll be left up to the 3 climbers remaining on men's 3. See if we can get a top there. On men's 2 is Lucas Yoshida, beside Claire Burfind on women's 2.
Skylar Tim.
Margot Hayes and Skylar Smith are on problem number 3. And Tim and Audrey on men's and women's 4.
Claire, Margot, Audrey.
Claire getting the bonus relatively quick. We still got 4 minutes, 21 seconds on the clock. Getting the right foot, which we haven't seen anybody really commit to before. We'll see if that's enough to push her straight up into that finish hold. But given her added height, Claire may have a couple extra options that previous competitors didn't have. One hand's not enough. Tim Kang almost securing the hold past bonus. One of the highest scores we've seen so far.
Yeah, Margot.
Margot Hayes taking a crack at women's number 3, currently with no tops up on that climb. She could be the first one to score the top there. And of course, the same situation on 5 of the climbs right now. Women's 2, both of the 3rd problems and both of the 4th problems. Lucas on men's 2, trying to figure out how he wants to set up for standing up onto these holds. 3 minutes, 7 seconds left.
Claire's getting back on. Nice, Claire. Come on, Tim. Ali, Tim. Ali. Oh, Tim!
Lucas looking real good. Looks like he will get stood up on this. See if he can get the right foot on that little jib. And if he can feel comfortable enough on that to step up to the next hold, we might have another top on men's number 2.
Come on, Lucas, you gotta believe. Ali.
And try and use the corner without accidentally using a bolt hole.
Come on, stay with it. Come on, son.
Lucas looking very hesitant to commit to this foothold without some assistance from the right-hand corner of the wall.
We got you when you're ready. Nice, Tim. Tim Kang. Come on,
Tim Kang securing. Looks like he might get the first top on men's 4. So long as that right foot sticks, could happen. And that is our first top on men's number 4 to Tim Kang. Excellent work from the United States.
That is what I'm talking about. Let's go, Skylar.
One minute, 26 seconds left.
Come on, Margot. Audrey.
Lucas and Claire back up on the second problems.
That's all we want from you.
Both have gotten real close to the finish. We got to finish it up with 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Audrey Miller on her final problem of the day, still trying to work out number 4. Margot Hayes really getting shut down in the lower part of women's number 3. 52 seconds left. Let's see if Lucas can succeed where he missed last time, but a little too uncontrolled of a push in the foot. Pushes him off. He's going to try for one more attempt with 41 seconds left. He's got to keep it clean and controlled in the bottom if he wants to get up there. 35 seconds left. Margot getting bonus. How she's going to get out of here will be interesting, as that handhold is real bad and the feet don't offer a lot of easy escape. 22 seconds. And it looks like we've got everybody off the wall. Definitely one of the hard rounds. But we had clean separation coming out of qualifiers, so we should be getting a nice secure set of 6 to move on to finals tomorrow. Finals begins tomorrow at noontime with our B category climbers. We expect the A finals